for them all to show that we're live on them. What's going on, EOP fans? Welcome to another episode of the Attacking Third. It's Thursday. It's 9. It's Austin. It's not Gus, but Pat. Pat, what's
Yes.
going on, buddy?
Well, it's obvious it's not because it's also we got GQ in the house. No, I'm kidding. No, listen, I'm very excited. The Philadelphia Union, the hegemony of the town, the most undefeated home team in Philly right now, and we have a lot going on here with this team. Austin, we have a whole lot going on with this team.
Oh yeah, dude. We got to get some really good home cooking over the past few days. Had a regular season match and another CONCACAF Champions League matchup, the second leg of our match against Alianza. We're first, of course, going to dive into Chicago. Pat, tell me, what did you see from that match, man?
Well, also, I'm glad you brought that to our attention here. So, what I saw in the matchup, again, it looked like the Union are off to a slow start, a sluggish start at the gates. However, they are open. They're shooting on all cylinders, but they can't find the back of the net. They are struggling to find the back of the net. I don't know what it is. They're creating plays. They're coming up big outside the box. You name it. Midfielders. They're shooting from all over, but they're not finishing. And maybe the other defenses are stepping up. Maybe they've seen a bunch of tape on the Union and know when to shut them down. Maybe they go into a one-dimensional zone where they shut this Union team down. But they figured them out, and it's not it's alarming a little bit. However, it's the Chicago Fire. They didn't have the greatest of records from last year. It was a 1-0 win, and let's be honest, the one offsides goal that got taken back from Chicago had us biting our nails because that was not offsides and that was a good goal. The momentum could have changed big time.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we
It's
got
it was
Torres
it was very
from
strange to see a team that we were able to play so easily last year when we played them in the Chicago Fire be able to essentially pick up where they left off with us in the last matchup that we had with them last season. Seeing them play us very tight defensively, forcing our midfield to try and work a bit more backwards than forwards. Um, Granted, we did get. I'm not gonna lie, we got very lucky at the tail end of that match with Joaquin Torres just hitting that bomb from outside of the box. But it, you can talk all the bad that you want, but we definitely ground out this win for sure. It was definitely a grind out style 3 points from Philly, and it was really good to see it happen, especially coming back at home after the disappointment that you had on the road in the previous week, and then to follow it up with what you did against Alianza in the Champions League. I almost stumbled through saying CONCACAF, but
yeah.
but yeah, which we'll be touching on that in a little bit. But just really inspiring play, even though the score sheet definitely showed otherwise. 100% a grind out style win. Definitely needed, like I said, coming off of what you had to deal with over the past week with the first leg against Alianza and the match against Orlando. Um, and now it's just from here. It's just to just keep keep trudging forward and just keep grinding as hard as you can because I've been saying it since the season started. You don't want to be leaving points on the table early, considering the fact that you have these other tournament matches that you're dealing with during the regular season.
Yeah, I totally agree with you also. And here goes another thing too. I mean, Chicago didn't help themselves by getting themselves not one but two red cards. So
Yeah,
you saw the one, I think his name's uh Humberg. He took out Wagner's legs, and and he was arguing with the referee, and he went from a yellow card to a red card real fast.
yeah. Well,
So
I mean that's simply because of dissension. The ref makes the call. You can't argue the call. Like it's
uh
pretty it's pretty much the same style as with baseball. If you're arguing something for a bit too long, you're eventually going to get tossed, and that's exactly what happened. It,
Yeah,
it
good
should it should
point.
have just been a simple, hey, you're getting a card here because it was rough. Don't do it again. Throw the yellow, take it and walk away. This guy just did not want that. He,
Mhm.
he wanted every single bit of smoke from that ref, and that ref was like, "Oh yeah, okay, sure. Here, hold this really quick. Get out." Like,
Not only gave him the smoke, he gave him the fire. He said, "Listen, pal, look, it's yellow. Let's not do it again. You want to keep on running your mouth? Hold on, I got something else.
yeah,
Uno."
let me just bang, draw two, son.
Right. Uh, but yeah, like I said, the Chicago Fire shot themselves in the foot. Again, they had two goals that looked like they were going to go in, but got called back. Um, like I said, it is like you said, you had to grind out for this win, which is not good. And which is like you said, you would thought that this team would have came with a little bit more of an oomph with that ugly loss down in Miami. Miami. However, you thought you would have had, like I said, carried that over to here and unleash hell on Chicago Fire, but that did not happen because, and let's be honest, the team was shell shocked after you after your starting goaltender goes down with a growing pole. But
Yeah,
however,
I
uh,
was going to mention that it was especially early in the match to see him, having to limp back into goal, make it even while injured, still be able to make a stop and then have to get pulled out of the match was definitely hard to see. Um, the good thing is that it's not a serious injury. It'll probably be like a couple more weeks before he's back, but it's just just be glad that it's not putting him on the shelf for the entire year because I don't know how well Bednick could sustain an entire season in net.
we're
I mean, I think he would do very well, but I don't think that he would be as good as Andre Blake, obviously.
right. Well, and I'm glad you brought that up because there is a report right there on MLS doc or on the Union's webpage that says Jim Curtin says he will be back by the end of the month, which is
Yeah,
probably about 2 weeks.
yeah. I
So
believe they said
you're
it was
going
a yeah, I believe they said it was a grade one adductor strain in the groin,
to right.
which I don't really know what the adductor really is, but all I know is I've pulled my groin before, and goodness gracious, does that hurt? Like
No, I
like
have here.
I'm dealing with a very rough flare up of my sciatic nerve in my lower back, and boy boy, I literally okay. I went to use the toilet the first morning after I had my nerve and my spine flare up. I'm
Right.
sitting there in the bathroom. I closed the door and I just look around. I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do? I struggled to sit down and even stand up. Like, how am I going to use the toilet right now? Like,
You're right. You know
I'm
what I
just
mean?
literally, I was like, my wife goes, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like,
No, you're not
please help
okay.
me solve this problem
You're in tons of
because
pain.
clearly I'm a 10-year-old and don't know what I'm doing.
Hey, can you wipe my butt, please?
But
Um,
dude, like just having to deal with anything in like the key area of where like a lot of your motion comes from, anywhere from like the middle of your stomach to like just above your knees. Anything in that area that gets affected, the
mm-hmm.
whole rest of your body feels it. So I
Wow.
can understand where Blake like where like give him until the end of the month to just be 100% certain that he is okay because
Right.
he could wake up tomorrow feeling great.
Right. And he can be in a
But you
lot of
you
pain.
don't you do not want to push that because the first wrong step that he takes, he could tear that whole thing, and he would be done. So
Well,
you
at
want you
least,
want to yeah you want to give that guy as much time as humanly possible to heal.
right.
I feel I
And
feel like the end of the month is a fair timetable for that. So it's going to be a
yeah,
wait and see kind of thing with Blake at this moment.
yeah. So, like I said, the reports out there by Jim Curtin that, like I said, that he's going to probably take a couple of weeks. Also, he's not going to make the road trip to Montreal this weekend. But, however, they said that team. This is like you said for Joe Bernick to get his feet wet at the perfect time. Not too much you have to worry about because Montreal is 0-3. So this is the kind of team we were like, okay, this is the kind of week we can use him to rust up and we'll see him back home. in South, at Super Bowl Park. So this is the time where you want to rust them. But like I said, this Chicago matchup again, you just squeak this out. Uh, what do you feel? Because like I said, I don't know if it's the sluggish starts. I don't know. Like I said, just you know, just they just can't. They're having bad luck finding back of the net. What do you think, Austin?
I mean, there's no reason to question this team long term, but short term is definitely looking shakier than expected.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't quantify what you've seen so far in what 3 matches to
Right.
what this team's going to be able to do the entire year around. It's definitely not the start that everyone was hoping it would be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 2-0 and 2-0 and 1 or no 2-1 and 0 right now after 3 matches. Um, it's definitely not the hot start that you expected Philadelphia Union to
Mm-hmm.
be on like they seasons. But honestly, right now, I'll take a very middling start if we can get hot at the right time and just pounce and just leapfrog like six different teams and just jump into one. Like I'll be totally fine with that come like
And
June, July,
and like you said, it's
more than I will now in like March, April. You know?
and right, and like you said, it's still the season's very early because like I said, you brought up about the standings, in which I'm trying to go over here with my laptop, but yeah, you bring up the standings and see what this team is going to be capable of and all that stuff. Like I said, this for now uh, has a bunch of little question marks. Not going to get too concerned about it, but it is what it is for now. Again, we're only taking game by game, step by step. Right now, we're in the middle of the pack, which is not bad at all either. Um, you know, a couple guys, but we need to find the back of that. We need to start seeing the Carranzas, the Bedoyas. We need to start seeing the Daniel Gazdogs. We need to see them start lighting the goalposts. Find the back of that. We need to find them on the scoreboard more than other
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with that. Just because of the fact that Gosdog, the only goals you've seen from him this year have been from the PK spot. Um,
Hmm.
Carranza, you got 2 in the opener from him, and he's been quiet since. Um, a lot of your serious production has been coming from second half super subs in
Hmm.
Joaquin Torres, like we saw in the Columbus match and in this Chicago match in the 90th minute, getting that amazing goal. Um, it's just it's definitely teams are game planning better for the three-headed attack that we have. Um, so for now, let people have to you know count for every single one of them, and then like 68, like 67th, 68th minute, pop in a Joaquin Torres, pop in an Andres Perea. Just let them rock, dude. Like the way they're playing right now, let these super subs do a lot of the heavy lifting to start off because eventually teams are going to back off because they're going to realize like, well, if we stop these three, these other guys are going to come in and just destroy us as well. So we should probably not gas ourselves too early, staying super tight on these guys, and then they'll be able to get the runs that they need. It's still we just had match day 3 out of
Hmm.
roughly 30.
Right, right.
Still got plenty of time.
I still got plenty of time, and look, we're sitting at 2-1. Again, we get it. We want the undefeated. We want to be undefeated. All the all that I expect. But again, 2-1 is still fine. You
Yeah,
only
I'll
have
take
one
it.
loss. Again, we're just about to wrap up March here. Again, you're 2-1, not bad. Like I said, there's still little tweeners that need to be worked on. Like I said, the sluggish starts, and like you said, the bench really has been an upgrade because the bench again bailed you out of this game again, 1-0 from Torres from outside the box, like you said, tween traffic. He finds it, at some point you're bound to get something paid off. So like I said, just keep on bringing your offense attack, keep on bringing some pressure, and you'll be just fine.
Exactly, and it's going to be a lot easier, uh, especially as the season goes on, to be able to find more flow. Like it's still early enough that a lot of that stuff is still trying to be reestablished to the point that it was at last year that we saw it at its height. So
Mhm.
Like not all three of those guys were firing on all cylinders right off the rip for Philadelphia. Only Gazdag was, and
Right.
that's, I mean, has he been score like has he scored anywhere aside from the spot? No, but Gazdag still has been playing extremely well. So I mean, we're sort of in that same flow still. Like Gazdag is there. We're
Mm-hmm.
waiting for Ua and Carranza to catch up. So we did get a decent goal output from Carranza to start off the season. We just need to see that a bit more consistently.
Totally agree.
Ua's been making great runs, but the problem is teams are getting faster on the wing on
Yeah,
their
correct.
on their back four. Excuse me. And it's just they're eventually going to be able to match that speed. So you know,
And like you said,
take those wins on the runs when you can get them. Just eat the losses when you have to. Things happen. It's a long season. Don't beat yourself up about it now and then refuse to do it later on.
correct. And here goes our man Will Yeager from Pottstown. He goes, "We are a second half season team. We are playing extra games." Yeah, I hear you, Will. Um,
Yeah, we
eh,
definitely are a second half of the season team. Um, More than that, we're a second half team in general for the most part. Um, a lot of very slow starts to a lot of matches that we saw throughout last year that we out of nowhere in the second half all of a sudden like that switch flipped like all right boys, now let's play the real game. Like it's almost like we toyed with them for a bit in the first half throughout most of last season to be like, okay, let's see how this team plays. And then they go into the back and Kurt goes, look guys, I've figured it all out. And he has like that huge like always sunny in
yes,
Philadelphia pin
yes.
board with all the rope all over it. It's like I've cracked the code. Here's what we have to do. They go out there and just do it.
And
like
they were just dominating, and
like like Curtin's still tying all the strings to all the different pins right now, dude. He's eventually is going to be sitting there with his hand shaking, a cigarette in between two fingers, like I've got this. Like don't you worry, guys. like
yes,
like full blown just
yes,
Pepe Sylvia whole mode where he's just like, it's
yes,
here. The code is here. We have to find it. like,
yeah. And that's what you, like you said, you bring a good point. Like again, he makes great adjustments. He's making great adjustments even as the game's going on. And like you said, it's just like you said, it's way early. He's still figuring out pieces. He's still finding out chemistry, all that stuff. And where to plug in guys at, where who can I use off the bench, all that fun stuff. So, and listen, you might have to take a starter, put him to the bench, whatever the strategy is for the matchup. So, but I've alluded to you guys during your show last week and weeks before. Again, to me, the Union is your measuring stick, and teams are going to be gunning for this team. They
oh yeah.
are going to teams are going to be lined up if they feel if they can hang with the Philadelphia Union, they're going to be good enough for a playoff run. That's how these teams look at it. So
Yeah, it's
we
it's simply because every team in this conference knows that we were the team that's finished
hmm
top of each of the last 3 seasons. So I mean,
correct.
we've been a perennial team to beat in the conference for long enough now that every single time we wake up in the morning, it's like, okay, we may not be in first place, but that target is right there.
Right, and like I said, and that's the thing. Every team coming to South Philly or Super River Park, anytime we go on the road, they are looking. Okay, we got the Union in our house. Blah 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 blah. Let's let you see how we can break this team down.
Yeah. Now,
So
now, now, follow me on this. I don't know how big of a Star Wars fan you are.
okay,
We're
okay,
the target. We want the
yes,
entire rest of the league to be stormtroopers.
yes. Just wipe them all out. Just wipe
Just,
them out.
they can fire as much as they want. They'll never hit.
Correct, correct.
that's literally what it is. Like I see this team as I'm trying to even find a good comparison. Like I feel like the best team that I can compare it to is how the Boston Bruins are this year in the NHL. Just a team that you think you have figured out, and then all of a sudden, like some dude that no one's really ever heard of just drops bombs on you,
Dude,
and you're just like, well, we game planned for literally everything else except for that, for apparently, and
except for
that's
line four.
yeah, like it's gonna be that. I feel like it's gonna be that for a little while, but
Mm-hmm.
then eventually it's gonna get to a point where like everyone else is gonna be like, okay, well, we just can't keep letting these guys carry that load for us.
Mm-hmm.
We have to, like, pardon my language, we got to light a fire under our own asses here.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're
You
they're
need to
gonna
do.
they're gonna get to they're gonna get there. It's still early. Give it a bit more time. Like sort of like how we always would say with with every team that starts off their season, like it's a long season. There's still plenty of
Mm-hmm.
sport to play. Let them, get
Let just melt.
reacclimated and get themselves going again. It's only a
Y-
matter of time. This team, we know what this team is capable of. Everyone knows what this team is capable of. Just give them time. They're
so you have no worries. It's
no,
just way
no,
too
it's
early.
yeah, yeah. Just let the engine run for a little bit before you step on the gas.
I got you. I got you. So listen, Austin, again, I didn't really get to see much of Tuesday night's battle or last night's battle rather. What happened in that tournament run? And explain to the people, because believe it or not, one John Lee blew up my phone, and he's like, they have a tournament inside of in season. So me
Man,
talking to a donkey's rear end is hard to
it's
explain.
almost like I've been talking about it for a little while before the season even started,
Yes,
John.
yes,
No, I'm
yes,
kidding.
yes.
Well,
It's not the brightest
much
bulb.
appreciation to you, Lee. Glad you're starting to get on the train, man.
Yes.
Yeah. It was very. I
What's
guess you
up,
could say it
Dave?
was Dave. What's going on, man? It was a lot of the same stuff that you saw from the first match. A very slow start. There were a couple of decent possessions between both teams. Looked like it was going to go scoreless into the end of the first half, and then in extra time, uh, Alianza played a corner the exact same way they did in the first leg, and new addition center back Damian Lau. I don't know if it's Low or Lau. I really don't know. My
Mm-hmm.
apologies if I did pronounce it wrong. Uh, he saw that and he instead of taking that normal defender's run of starting up, stutter, break towards the center of the goal and wait for the ball. He saw where the ball was going and just went for it. It just went straight at the point of attack to where the ball was going to be and beat everyone there. Got a perfect
Really?
header in added time at the end of the first half to send us in with a lead. And then the second half, just whatever vehicle Alianza was driving, the wheels fell off
Right.
so fast that there were sparks flying down the road, bro. Like out of nowhere, within 3 minutes of each other, Andres Perea scores his first and second goal as a member of the Union.
Wow.
And
Well.
the second goal was a beautiful pass by McGlynn to get this
Mm-hmm.
Quinn Sullivan, both of them under 20. And then an amazing ball across by Quinn Sullivan to set up Perea to corral the ball and score in the lower right corner.
Oh, thanks, Muffler Mike, my man.
Appreciate it, my dude.
Yeah, yeah, Muffler Mike. Thanks a lot. We're very excited.
You'll be spending a lot of time with him now, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Getting to cover
and
the Philadelphia Wings, dude. I'm super stoked for you for that, dude. That's
yeah, hey,
amazing.
listen. This is part of the EOP family. This is what we do with each other. We look out for one another, and thanks to my man Gary and my man Al, to giving us the opportunity to go cover the Union now the Wings. Like the sky's the limit, and we're going for the stars. So,
Hey, I'm all about it.
my man Muffler Mike. Real fast, I don't want to shift gears here, but my man Muffler Mike the other night hit me with some. My man, if he was a teacher, uh, you'd be like, you ever see a teacher just like drop a whole binder on you and say,
Hmm.
this is your homework for the your homework.
This is the course study,
Yes, yes, my man Muffler
it's
Mike.
basically a mountain of papers in one binder
Yes,
somehow.
yes, yes, yes.
Yep.
Muffler Mike said, here, need this assignment done in 48 hours. You gotta do it now.
48 hours. He gave you a whole file box. Like
Yes, yes. No, I love messing with Big Muffler Mike. That's my main man. Here we
he's a
go.
great dude, man. He actually has a lot of the same video game taste that I have.
Here, yes, he does. He not so much on
The
superhero takes, but definitely
the
got
League
some.
Cup. Actually, let me take a look to see if that is the first time. I'm pretty sure it's the first time that we're in it this year.
The Galbro is going to the. Not, yeah, well, thanks, Dave. Yes, the Galbro is hoping to look for some wings at the Wings game. Uh, but yeah, very stoked about the opportunity. But yeah,
No, the League's Cup is an annual competition between clubs from Major League Soccer and Liga MX in North America. It debuted in
right.
2019 with 4 teams participating. It's our first time participating in the League's Cup.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Look at Jaeger with some soccer knowledge.
Yeah,
It's a
that's one
shot.
of I think that's the only other tournament. Oh no, that and the I think the U.S. Open Cup again this year as well. So we have three tournaments that we're a part of this season.
Right, right. So, um, yeah, very, very, very shocked. Yeager, keep on at it, my man. And I think Yeager told
Yeah.
me himself that he just became a partial season ticket to the Union.
Ooh,
So,
nice, dude.
yeah, yeah,
Welcome to the true party.
yeah, yeah. So I hope he's one of the guys in the Suns band banging away on the drums, pants down, having a great time. Um, whatever you need to do for a good time.
You're
Uh,
lucky, Pat. This was my coffee.
oh,
We're past the
it's
rule
all
line. We're
yes,
past the
yes,
rule line.
uh,
Also, it's 9:30 at night.
yes, yes. So it's 8, 9 a.m. somewhere. But
So I did notice. I'm gonna go a bit off topic here for a second. I did notice last night that it was A&M in the PM.
yes, yes,
Would
yes.
it
How about that?
would this be
Yeah.
A&P in the PM?
Pam is not there. Pam wasn't there. Pam.
Would this be A&P in the PM then?
And this would be PM in the PM.
No, AP in the PM.
Oh yeah, AP. Yeah, dude, we're getting sports.
Asset protection.
Yes, yes.
we're
I
one
feel,
A we're one A short of being the APA,
yeah, we
and
are.
then I
Yeah,
can just
we are.
start clotheslining people.
Yes, yes. I can
just
just see.
just wind them on up,
Damn,
loosen up
damn.
that old shoulder and start tearing heads off, dude.
And I just want to say, damn. But yeah. So Will says it was cold last hour. Yeah. Listen.
Oh, dude, it was even colder on Tuesday, man.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was it was what, sub 30 at kickoff, something like that, with a bit of rain too.
Listen. I got to give credit to you, to Gus, to Diego going there covering these games.
Especially to Gus for being at that Alianza match because it was a cold one,
Yeah,
bro.
dude, Gus goes out in like the craziest weathers to go watch games. He
Oh,
does.
dude,
I'll give Gus that day because I
because
remember like
dude,
the one time me and him went to a Sixers
weather
game.
and nature don't matter. It's
The
the sport
blood.
is here, baby.
Yeah, yeah. Because I remember we went to a Sixers game and this thing was, I mean, below. I mean, it was cold, cold. It was wicked cold. My man just, like you said, it's in here. And it's in here. That's the Philly sports passions here. The people that just don't understand. We're not exactly the normal people, if you will, for sports
Oh
passion.
yeah, definitely not.
But
But when it comes to like knowing about our teams though, dude, we're definitely head and shoulders above a lot of other fan bases.
head and shoulders, and just like I said, you and I going covering these teams, the Wings, the Union, really gonna, like I said, getting people more involved and talk about them again. In the Union's TV rank, the MLS TV ranks skyrocket. You know why? Because a Philly sports team was involved. You get a Philly sports
Not
team
yeah,
involved, your
and
eyeballs roll
yeah,
to the
and not only
to
that,
the action.
the viewership is actually still
Hot.
climbing
They got
overall throughout this
commercials.
season. Yeah, we're in the Apple era now, dude. There's going
Yes.
to be so much more advertisement. Like I want to say over the past couple of days because like I don't have cable, so I all
Right.
my anything that I watch is either Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, or some other
Dude.
streaming platform. I was watching stuff on YouTube, just random like video game stuff and nonsense like Magic the Gathering and all that. All my nerdy niche things, and I was absorbing as
Yes.
much content as possible while I was laid out on my couch and unable to move. Um, I saw roughly like 2 dozen MLS on Apple TV ads just on YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and that's considering there are some that do just before video start. There's some that do it before and after. There's some that do before, after, and some intermittently throughout their video. So I'm getting so like it's granted it's the same ad every time, but the first team that you see on that ad, the Philadelphia
Yeah.
Union, son.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, and like I said, things are popping. You seen it, and speaking of, I'm glad because it's kind of gonna segue right on into this, if I get my fat finger in place. Go stupid. If it is right up there, let's speaking of Union and all that stuff. How about right here, Philadelphia Sports Trip? Our guy Vinny, who runs Philadelphia Sports Trips, is a humongous Union head. So look at here, fans. If you're looking to book a trip, Hook up with Philly sports trips. Tell them Edge of Philly sent you. Look at this here. We got a trip to the Yankee Stadium April 3rd. You go right to the Bronx. If you want to represent the Eagles for draft day, head down to Kansas City. Go
Gus will
represent
be
the
there for
Birds.
that.
Yeah, Gus is heading down there for that. And then look at this total package. Total package right here. If you want to go out to Colorado, go out to
Be
Colorado.
you a Union fan or a Phillies fan,
And Phillies.
the weekend of May the 16th, they got you covered.
Yeah, so look, you make a Friday night, boom, or Saturday, you go to Union, Sunday day baseball, you get catch some Phillies in Colorado. You can't beat that. And how about this? The Union themselves are going across the pond.
Mm. I
Uh,
found out it's not actually the team themselves are going over there.
oh, really?
It's just fans. Um,
Oh,
it is a, as you can see there, it's a 6 day trip. Um,
yes.
you get to do a bunch of different stuff throughout London. You get to tour Stamford Bridge where Chelsea FC play. And then the night of the Philadelphia Union NYCFC match back here stateside, it'll be about 1:30 a.m. roughly, uh, local time in London. You'll be in a pub in London watching the Philadelphia Union match in England.
No,
And
listen.
then you end the whole thing by going out to Leeds and watching Leeds play Tottenham
Hey, listen.
in person. You get to see our boy Brendan Aronson
Mm-hmm.
playing in England in the English Premier League.
Right, right. Listen, that's a tons of fun right there. And speaking of pubs and all that stuff, how about the pub just here locally?
Ooh,
Speaking of Union fans, how about our man Brett Porsche, a another huge Union head. He'll
yes.
be out there at Dolan's Bar, 24 Sellers East Sellers Avenue, Ridley Park, 19078 is the zip code. Live bands, foods, drinks, you name it. It's a good time. Again, featuring down 93 WMMR Brett Porsche. Go hang out with him. He is as cool as a roll kind of dude. And of course, you guys having any kind of troubles on St. Patty's Day or any kind of troubles, here goes our man in work compensation, medical vehicle accident, personal injury, criminal law. Hit up our man David R. Cherry Esquire, 610-565-0300. And Austin, you could take this one away.
Gotcha, man. If you're ever looking for any tickets to, a Union game, the Phillies are starting up soon. The Sixers are in the midst of a playoff run. And, if you want to just get the heck out of the house for a bit and I guess watch some hockey or something, I don't know. Make sure you check out our friends over at Sherry's Ticket Town at sherrystickets.com. Every single price that you see is the price that you're gonna pay. You don't have to be like, hey, let's go out and do insert fun activity here that involves sports, concert, or theater. Like, let's go to a show. And you go onto one of those other sites and you're like, oh shoot, what a deal! And you go down and you're like, well, this is $200 more than I was expecting because of all the fees for 2 tickets, and the whole time is ruined. Instead, go to sherrystickets.com, get what you want for the price that they say that is literally right there. You don't have to worry about any extra fees. And on top of that, in the little promo code field, type in EOP10. Take 10% off on your boys. Sherry's Ticket Town, family owned and operated since 1946. There's a long time selling tickets to some banger events here in the city.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, you just see all the EOP ads and sponsors. So go hit them up. Oh, and speaking of, as with that was going on, we got a couple comments here. So let's get in it. Here goes our man
Diego, my
Piana-
boy. What's
Diego
up, dude?
Pianati again, guys. This man is a machine on Twitter, guys. Go follow him. He keeps you updated on the union news. Again, a 5 for 5, 6 for 6, really. That's why I call him
For
Mister
real.
6 for 6. He does all MMA. He does all the local 4 for 4 teams, and obviously his big passion is soccer. So he does a great job. Again, a great beat reporter for here the EOP and the union. So he does a phenomenal job. Go hit him up. Go check him out. Go, like I say, go give him a follow right on Twitter. And then, of course, you got our man Dave Yarnald, uh, best drive in Ridley Park, Dolan's Bar. Yeah, yeah. Hey, listen, Dave. Um, look, you pretty much, you live around the corner from that spot, so it's a good time out there. But anyway,
Definitely nailed the
listen,
hammer on the head with that statement, though. Definitely one of the best in Ridley Park for sure.
Yeah, so look, let's get right back into business here, Austin. Again, you were explaining about, like I said, nice win for the Union. However, does not count for wins and losses on the season.
Correct.
So um, it's I feel like they unleashed hell just on the wrong opponent because they could have
Honestly, I
used
mean,
that
I'm
last
not gonna
Saturday.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm totally fine with the trouncing that we had be on Alianza more than anything. Simply
Mhm.
because of the fact that it just means that the rest of our guys are really getting going. You know what I mean? We
Right.
played a lot of the second team guys throughout most of that match, and we saw a lot of really good production. You know, it wasn't the worst thing to have happen.
Right.
Honestly, I'm 100% okay with that being the big win out of the two. Um, I'm definitely just looking forward to just going through to match week 4, carrying through the Champions League, and just being able to just slowly but surely incorporate all these other guys that we're expecting to get good production from into what we already have. So
Mhm.
right now, I personally don't think that
Mhm.
Montreal will be too much of a test, but you know, it, I,
Then
I've
again, you don't
I've
know.
I've eaten words bigger than those before, so
Well, listen, and now that you brought it up again, the team is 0-3. They're struggling. They look like they are. They haven't found a way to bounce them back from last year. They were look like they were on an uprising from last year, and this year it just hasn't been a good start for them. Like I said, 0-3 to start. What's going on with this team? Why all of a sudden they look like they have not to get together? I mean, so you look at some of the um, again midfielders, defenders. Again, you guys got like G Campbell as a defender. Um, you got a bunch of guys out there. So I mean, again, is it just you don't think they're talented enough? Also, what do you think that could possibly be?
I really don't think it's a lack of talent for Montreal. It's more just a lack of sort of the same issue that we've been dealing with is not being able to get that finish in the final third. Um,
You're right.
it's just a lot that the team just has to figure out. George Campbell is one of the better defenders on that team. But it's more about the forward play. So you more want to see that round itself out if you're a part of either the fan base or the club. It's
You're
something
right.
that you definitely want to see them sort of figure out sooner rather than later. Um,
Mm-hmm.
as for the Philadelphia Union going into this match, you kind of want to hope for a lot of the same for Montreal for what they've been doing so far. Not being able to get that finish. Excuse me, and a lot of uncertainty in their play. It's early in the season. There's still a lot that a lot of teams have to sort of figure out. Um, I mean, for instance, take a look at Austin FC. We're up on aggregate in Champions League, up 2-0 on aggregate. Come into their match at home and concede three, and they're out.
Yeah. And speaking of their last go around Montreal was against your brother squad against Nashville. Lost 2-0 and nothing on the board. Didn't get nothing on the board. Got completely shut out. So
I mean, sounds
I
about
don't
right
know.
for what they've been lacking and what Nashville is capable of doing. Definitely what you would expect to see.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've honestly going into that match, I probably would have expected maybe 2-1. Like I would have expected at least Montreal to put something on the board. Um, but I feel like that more speaks to what Nashville has done as a team defensively than it does for Montreal as a team offensively. Um, it's still early in the season, a lot of time to see these guys sort of figure out what they're supposed to be doing and being able to do it better. Um, but it's just one of those things that
So
time has to play a big part in this, and it's a matter of when they'll figure it all out.
time is of the essence. But listen, They've had 3 games. You know how many points they've stacked up in 3 games?
The total points. Oh yeah,
A total butt plug, a total of
yep.
zero,
Total
nothing.
a total nada.
I mean, so this is a bad team. So hopefully, again, this is perfect for again. You know what? Just tell Andre Blake you don't have to worry about the road trip. We should be able to handle these stiffs.
Yeah,
We,
you stay on home while we head on up north, bud.
listen, you're
We'll
just
take the trash out.
yeah, we're definitely going to take the trash chute. That's for sure. We're gonna lay right into them. So again, a team that's struggling to find the back end, a team that's struggling all around. They lost it, but oof, I mean,
I feel like struggling.
I feel like I would be the idiot to have this would be our trap game. This is
Yeah,
our
it
trap game.
definitely would. I mean, honestly, as I feel like if you're a Montreal fan right now and people are saying the team is struggling, you're saying to yourself as the English would say, bite your arm off just to be struggling. Like, geez,
Yeah.
three in, you would have thought you would have at least been able to capture one, maybe even walk away with a draw. But
Oh,
to be coming up completely empty is just so disheartening, especially in the early start of a league year.
exactly.
Considering that you finished top two in your conference last year. I mean,
Again.
a lot of that was probably just more favorable. I guess you could say like favorable bounces and
Hmm.
untimely things that happened with other teams that were ahead of them that caused leapfrogging to happen for them.
Right.
So I feel like they more finished where they were because of circumstance than actual performance. Um, and it's really honestly this early on, even though like I've been saying, you need to have more time before the team starts really being able to play the way they're supposed to play. It's not great to start off for Montreal at all,
No,
not in the least.
no, like you said, it's still early, but the sample size that we're getting from Montreal, it's still 3 games in, and you have yet to find the back of the net. It's alarming. It's
Yeah,
alarming, and it's
Montreal FC is starting to look a lot like the Montreal Canadiens.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I mean,
Unfortunately.
and again, it's passion as that fan base is up there. To have a team not give you anything, not give you, if you get 2 to 3 more games out of this, a coach or a GM is going to roll. That's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it
Uh,
doesn't really happen that often in MLS, but it's very possible that it could. Um, Again, I feel like a lot of front offices right now are sort of still in the wait and see process early on. But if it continues into like mid to late April, it's very possible that a change could come. Uh,
and they're
could it
going to need
be?
it.
It'll probably start the way it usually starts when things are starting to go south for a team and having it happen rather quickly. You'll see a lot of changes to formation, the players in the starting 11,
Hmm.
just trying to figure out if maybe mixing up some of that stuff first will maybe make something else happen. Um, if it doesn't, then you start to look at the coaching staff, and then from there, if it continues, you start to look even further,
At players.
potentially further up the rung from the coaching staff going upward. Um, but I feel like right now it's too early to be even considering
Yeah,
Wilfred Nancy's position to be a hot seat right now. Um, they made a few additions, so it's a couple of those guys still trying to get used to playing with their new team. Um, Again, only match week 3 that has been played so far, so you got a lot of. I feel like if you're pushing the panic button now in Montreal, I would be careful not to break it for in case you need it later on in the year. You know what I mean?
well, if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be their first home game.
Yeah,
So they spent 3 games on the road. They have come up short. Like I said, to come up short is an understatement. They haven't scored anything. They stink. I mean, again, this is not a good start for them. Like you said, if this continues to trend the way it's trending, like you said, from front office on down to talent, they're going to have to make adjustments somewhere, and just start thinking about next year. And you don't
yeah,
want to do that this early. So I mean, look, this, so maybe things shift gears at home. Get that home atmosphere. Get around and behind you and see if they can get things going. But for the Union, you just again you take it game by game, day by day, and do not take a game lightly. Even though the record says they suck, you do not want to take it lightly. You just want to go in there, handle your business, and come back home.
Yeah, you definitely, especially being on the road visiting them for their home opener, you definitely don't want to be underestimating this team. Um, like you said, they've been on the road the entire season so far to start, and finally getting a chance to come back home could be exactly what they need. So you definitely don't want to, sell this team short and look at what they've done so far this year, considering um, every team always plays better at home. That's
Yeah.
just it's just a fact. I mean, unless I don't even know what, but it's definitely
I'll tell you this: if they don't get nothing on the scoreboard at home in front of a hungry fan base who hasn't seen Montreal, hasn't seen MLS soccer, and you put up a nothing burger, yeah, there's gonna be troubles in the lakes already. There's gonna be troubles in the water. So, but like I said, and look, I need that. I need the union just to go do that. I need the union to go take care of business at home, on the road, because look,
walk in there and do what they need to do.
yeah, because they struggled on the road, so they need to bounce back and show they can do not just at home, but they can bounce back on the road as well. So, it's going to be a good test of battle right there. We'll see what happens. We got a nice, great comment coming from our man, the beat reporter himself, our man Diego. Montreal is struggling right now, 0 goals, zero against Philly's defense. I expect that to continue. It is their home opener, so they'll be ready. But if they let us settle. If they let us settle in, they don't score early. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Diego. I think it's going to be an early win for your Philadelphia Union because the Philadelphia Union have to show that they can win on the road too.
Yeah,
I mean, they look great at home, but they got to prove they can go on the road and take care of business. So
exactly.
uh, here goes another one from Will, and we have a backup goalie. He might
He might be
do.
due to give up a goal. It's definitely possible.
True. Good point. Good point,
But
Will.
I mean, so far the play that we've seen from Bednick has been very inspiring for sure. So I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, he's definitely due to give one up eventually, but I really just hope that it's only one because I don't want to see the Union have to play from behind
Right.
this early on. We saw what happened last time they played from behind, going up against Miami. They sort of folded a little bit. So you want to go in there, just play the game that you know that you're capable of playing, and just be very very solid on the defensive end of the ball. Make sure that your midfield isn't playing, not playing as defensively minded as they have been in some of these matches. Just go out there, dictate the pace of play, really force Montreal to have to play on their heels a ton, try and catch them as flat-footed as you can throughout that full 90, and just make life absolutely miserable.
Yeah, and to your point, so again, and that's what I want to see. I want to see them take care of business, even with a backup goaltender. But again, this is a tell of two stories because maybe Montreal goes, all right, guys, we haven't had the best of luck on the road. We'll be at home. They got their backup goaltender. Maybe we can smell some kind of blood in the water for us to take care of business. Again, going back earlier in the show, we talked about Chicago. Chicago only shot themselves in the foot doing it throughout the match. The terrible bad penalties on them. Again, a goal getting taken back because of an offsides call. So they have to really come up and make some big plays here. They're going to have to and like I said, knowing that you are kind of suspect on defense, you're going to have to make big plays on offense and find the back of the net. Like I said, they threw everything but the kitchen sink in that Chicago game. They're going to have to do that. They got to find a way to find the back of the net. So here goes our man Will. He goes, "Do you think Martinez needs to slow down with the yellow card?"
I don't think it's a matter of slowing down. I think it's a matter of he just has to play smarter now. It's You can still play the again, pardon my language. You can still play with a decent amount of shithousery, but there is a line that you have to know when to just be like, all right, I've done enough. I'm going to walk away
Hmm.
now because there is going to get it's going to get to a point where like you're going to be having your pitter pat and nonsense and just getting under their skin, and then out of nowhere, a ref's going to be like, "Yo, that's enough." And the
Mm-hmm.
second the second the ref gives you this motion and is looking you dead in the eyes, you're just like, "Got it, dude. Don't don't pull anything stupid after that. You know,
All right. All right.
play tough until the ref goes, "Hey, man, take it easy." The second you hear that, boom, you're just like, "All right, got you."
And that's what I said. You got to take it easy with the yellow cards. Like I said, however, Chicago, like I said, low themselves and only hurt themselves this past weekend. But like I said, you saw that guy Homburger get
Yeah, I
into
mean
the
that Chicago match where Shabilko got into Brujo's face. That's exactly the type of, again, pardon my language, the type of shithousery that you want to see.
right,
You want to see it to the point where you make a very standard play on a guy and they turn around and just bump chests with you and get in your face. Where it's like,
right,
dude, all I did was just make you not have the ball anymore, and you're mad.
yeah. Take
That sounds a lot like your problem and not mine. Like,
take that somewhere else, my friend. Take
yeah,
that somewhere else.
please take that on back to Chicago where they put chili on top of spaghetti.
Hey, now that's getting strange. Now we're getting strange. Now we're going some strange territory. You know what I'm saying? Uh, now we now
That's
we just
all I'm going to say about that because I could go for another hour about how just the construction of those two things on a plate together just does not make sense, and pineapple on pizza is a smarter move than chili on spaghetti.
oh no, I think now I want to try a chili on spaghetti. I think I'm weird enough to
Don't.
try it.
It's awful.
Will it ruin my manhood? That's all I need to know. Will it ruin
No,
my
it
manhood?
won't ruin your manhood. It'll ruin your tailpipe, my dude.
Okay. Well,
It's
something's gonna hurt and
and it's
something's gotta
also
give.
like you're like, oh, cool, chili. Like, who
Something's gotta give.
the only type of, I can't even call it a pasta or a noodle because rice is rice. Like,
Okay.
rice goes good with chili.
Right.
Anything larger than rice, you're a masochist. Like,
Yes.
I'm just laying it out
Just laying out the
full
groundwork.
bare. This is now the last 8 minutes of this podcast. Now Austin talks about food.
Hey,
Okay.
listen. Sign me up, Rev.
Look, dude,
Uh,
the whole pineapple on pizza thing. I'm gonna end this now. There's one good flavor combination that entails putting pineapple on pizza, and it's a combination of sweet and savory. Okay.
all right.
If you can get stuff that's sweet and savory together,
Okay.
and it's amazing. the
Yeah.
it's about balancing acidity and all that kind of stuff. It's a bunch of science behind food. That's what a
Yes.
lot of people don't understand, is like the reason certain things are paired together is because scientifically it makes sense. And I'm tapping my fingers together in weird like fake kissy motion.
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
understand why I'm doing this, but like
It's getting a little weird right now. Is that weird?
there's so much to just preparing food that a lot of people don't understand. They just see it at face level. Like, they just see someone's like, I put pineapple on my pizza, and they're like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, sweet
No.
and sour, like like those kinds of things. Like, there's certain it's known in Japanese as umami. It's the
Mm.
combination of flavor together as it's being chewed and digested that brings it together as one whole thing. It's like it's like reading just the summary of a book and then
Right.
actually reading the entire book. Like, if you just read the summary of a book, you may not be that interested. But if you're like, you know what, let me thumb through the first couple of pages and it catches you, you're gonna love it.
Hey, listen.
It's that weird thing of like instead of judging it at face level and not like it's literally the statement of don't knock it until you try it. I've
Listen. You're talking.
tried chili on spaghetti.
Not you're knocking it.
It's it is a burden on my soul.
Well, look. Uh, listen. You're talking to a guy who loves talking food. Look, again, all the reels I put up on Devo Sports, he goes right to there. But
Yeah,
I do want to touch on something here too, also with you
of
before we get
course.
out of
Let's
there.
yeah. Before I end up losing my mind trying to figure out the words I'm
No,
trying to use when talking
yeah,
about food.
food. You're getting me a little horny and a little
Yeah,
hungry. But
I'm
okay, all right.
we already passed the coffee rule line. It's fine.
Yeah, we're but here we go. So here goes some big matches though around the horn, as if you will, for this weekend. And one's catching my eye: St. Louis, San Jose at St. Louis. San Jose is 2-1. Heading to St. Louis. Who do you got?
Honestly, I've been liking what I've been seeing from St. Louis City. I
Yeah,
would really like to see
three and
them
zero.
get. I would really like to see them get a win. As much as it would affect a lot of standings, I
Yes.
really have been liking their play. They've been very inspired, especially getting out of match week one with a huge opening match win, opening season win against Austin in Austin, and then just coming home and rallying from. Oh no, that was Charlotte that rallied from behind against Atlanta. Um, just their overall play has been extremely inspiring and really fun to watch. And I just honestly, dude, just let the train run for a little while longer while I'm still enjoying it. Because the second they play Philly, I'm gonna be like, well, time for that train to just come to a screeching halt.
Take time to take it off the tracks.
But yeah,
So
I like St. Louis City beating San Jose by 2.
okay, and then your brother's got a little bit of a big matchup as Nashville goes up to B Town to take on New England. New England's 2-1. Nashville is 3-0. Uh, Big matchup for the East.
What you're seeing so far this year from DC United is a blip in the radar. I mean, not DC United, New England Revolution. It's a blip in the radar. They
Okay,
are
not
they
buyer.
no, I am not buying in on the Revs having an over 500 record
Mm-hmm.
and them that's how they're going to be the whole rest of the year because it's not. It's absolutely not. Um, Nashville has been playing very solid. They pretty much picked up from where they were last year. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Henny Mukhtar has been playing extremely well. Walker Zimmerman, ironically enough, I'm personally kind of surprised at this. He didn't get a call to the men's national team for the international matches that are starting up later this month. Uh, but the Union got 3. We
Well,
had Zach Steffen,
mm-hmm.
Brendan Aronson, and tell me if you remember this name, Austin Trusty.
No, but
Yeah, he played for the Union a couple of years ago, and then has been moving around on the transfer market for a bit, and has
really,
found himself a home over in Europe,
okay.
and he's gotten himself some recognition from the U.S. national team, which is awesome.
That's good to know. Look, and bring them over if we can at some point. And one more big matchup of the weekend, Saturday at 4 o'clock. You have the I hate to admit the champions, the fraud champions. I would say LAFC, the LA fraud champions. They are heading out to Seattle. Seattle is 2-1, and the fraud champions are 2-1 as also. So who
Um,
you liking?
as much as I'd hate to admit it, I like LA going up there and just doing what they do, taking care of business, and
I'm
walking
sorry,
out with 3 points.
they are yeah, I was right. They're both 2-1.
Yep, both are 2-1. Um, Especially because you think about it now, LA technically until they play against LA Galaxy, which was supposed to be their season opening match, they hold a game in hand compared to the rest of the league because they
Wow.
they didn't they didn't play match week one. It was supposed to be Galaxy LAFC in the Rose Bowl for the first game of the season. It was essentially supposed to be a joint home opener because both teams are from LA.
Right.
But over that week, they got flooded out twice, and then it snowed in
Mm-hmm.
LA. So like they were just like, dude, no, this is impossible. And so now, unfortunately, they both LAFC and LA Galaxy hold a game in hand compared to the rest of the Western Conference. And again, still just a small sample size, but LAFC has definitely come out playing exactly the way you would expect them to play to start off the year, coming off of a championship win. And I
Right.
I see them going up there. It'll be a bit of a tougher match because Seattle has gotten better, but I see them winning 3-2, getting the 3 points and being able to walk out of Seattle
Look,
very in a very strong position for not only their conference but the power rankings as well.
oh, listen. We've heard it going around the horn a little bit with Austin. Austin, who needs to step up this Saturday for the Union?
Julian Carranza. He needs to get back on the
And
board. He needs to be able to show some of that inspiring play that we saw in match week 1 against Columbus. Um, the rest of the play has been there around him. Um, even though Gosdog's only been scoring from off of the spot, I want to see more in terms of effective play from Carranza. I mean,
okay.
the whole offensive trio, to be fair, but particularly I want to see Carranza start getting some more work.
Same. For me, I need to see Dan Gazak. I need to see him find the back of the net as well, because I feel like he's been in the back of a milk carton as these past couple of weeks. So you were tearing up the league last year. I need him to get tearing up this year. I need him. I need him to get back on there on his winning ways. I need him to come up big time for this team. But look, let's wrap up the show here and let's get out of here. And it was a great show. And listen, guys, we'll see you next week, same time, 9 p.m., talking Union facing the
Yeah,
Montreal.
we'll be covering this and then any other matches and
Myth.
news. Make sure you're staying locked in
And
here. EOP Sports.
EFP scores.
Follow our guy Diego. We love you. We love you.
Not
We love you. We'll see you next week.
yes, and not just the